Hello everyone. Welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 17/11/2022. Now, in this session, we are going to study about some of the major issues like COP27 and G20. Trump to run for the White House for a third time. This normally in America, once they get defeated, they won't contest. But this time, Trump is again planning to contest. War causing immense human suffering. G20. Joint declaration says that the conflict is exacerbating existing fragilities in the global economy. See this. Because of Russia-Ukraine war, there is increase in price rise, global economy is reducing. After COVID, there are many other challenges that the human beings are suffering due to war. And in the G20 summit, all the developed countries and developing countries together has told that this should stop. Now, I want you people to know Russia is also part of G20. China, India, the good friends of Russia are also part of G20. But we are all worried that, Russia is attacking Ukraine and telling such a statement globally that, Russia's attack on Ukraine is threatening the world economy itself indicates that the world is standing together against Russia, and especially countries like China and India are supporting this statement. Gives a very big signal that the entire world, in one voice, they are criticizing the war in Ukraine because everyone is getting problem with respect to this. Now, the second most important thing is now from December 1, India will be heading G20. Now, when India is heading G20, India wants to focus on food and energy security in the world. So, India wants to talk about how to increase food security, at the same time, how to increase energy security. And guys, whenever any country heads it, it will have certain rules and regulations, and it can actually act like the leader in bringing some consensus. For example, Copenhagen Summit, Paris Summit, these are all very, very important because those countries at that time played a very important role in bringing some amount of pressure on all the countries in the world to accept certain outcomes. Now, India is considered to be one of the most powerful country when it comes to international community because India's voice is heard by everyone. Now you see what is going to happen. India is going to talk to all these people, tell them what is important and what is not important, and then convince them please sign the agreement. So quickly the agreements can be signed between India and other countries. So India wants to talk about energy and food security in G20 next year. I'll give you the notes for this later. In the sense, in this paper itself, again there is this issue, we can see that. At COP27, India and three others oppose carbon border tax. Now, guys, let us read this in detail. Now, what is this carbon border tax? See, guys, now whenever the countries are trying to produce any product. For example, let us say India is producing iron ore or steel, and if India will use coal in manufacturing it, then what is going to happen? Any country which is producing steel or cement from coal will not be imported. or they should give more tax, or their products will be taxed more. You see, I'll just explain this, guys. Now let us say steel industry. Now in some parts for the steel, natural gas is used, but in India we normally go for coal, because coal is present in India, and in other parts coal is not present. So what do they do? They import natural gas. Now in cement industry also, they use other things rather than using the coal. Now in India, what do? We use coal. Now what is this carbon border tax? What these countries want to do is, now let me say there is like Pakistan, and you have India. Pakistan uses natural gas to produce cement. India uses coal to produce cement. Now Indian cement will be taxed more compared to Pakistan cement. Why? Because if Indian cement is taxed more, then what is going to happen? Indian cement industries will be affected. Over a period of time, all the cement industries will feel, okay, my cement products are not accepted because I'm using coal. If I use natural gas or something else, then my cement will be accepted. So what will happen? All the companies will slowly shift towards natural gas rather than having coal. Now, coal is considered to be one of the major producer of greenhouse gases. So these countries want to put carbon border tax. That means I won't allow, or if I allow any products which are manufactured by using coal, then they have to pay more taxes, or their products will become costlier. This is what they are planning to do. Now, basic countries, a group consisting of Brazil, India, South Africa, and China, are significantly dependent on coal. And guys, now what is going to happen? These countries are opposing this carbon border tax. Can you please make a note? You write COP27, carbon border tax, hyphen. In COP27, in COP27, European Union, European Union has proposed carbon border adjustment mechanism, carbon border adjustment mechanism to tax products, to tax products such as such as cement and steel, cement and steel, which are extremely, which are extremely carbon intensive, extremely carbon intensive, with effect from 2026. Next point, coal is one of the, is one of the largest emitter of greenhouse gases. Full stop. Basic countries, basic countries like Brazil, India, South Africa, and China are mostly dependent on coal. And these countries will take some time to transfer to clean energy, to transfer to clean energy. This would take time. This would take time. Full stop. If at all, there is there is carbon border tax, then basic country products, basic country products will be taxed more, taxed more by European Union, which would lead to products becoming costly, products becoming costly, and exports would reduce. Fine, guys. Now, let us see the other issues. This unseating of vice chancellors is faulty. Now, guys, you see, this is an article which is written by former Secretary General Lok Sabha, and what he is trying to say is what Supreme Court has done and what Governor has done is wrong. But here, he's trying to argue a very important point that I want you to observe. See, what is the issue? Now, first, education is mostly state subject, but when it comes to higher education and all, some parts of it comes under concurrent subject. And whenever there is concurrent subject, that is concurrent subject means both state and central government can look into. And whenever there is concurrent subject, state government can also make the law, central government can also make the law. Fine. But whenever state government and central government laws will be contradictory, for example, in UGC, right, higher education, there is a provision which says that before appointing any vice chancellor, you must try to have a committee, search committee we call, and the search committee should recommend few names. In that name, you can choose one or two. One, fine. So now, once in Gujarat, what happened? The vice chancellor was appointed even without having a search committee. Then Supreme Court at that time told this is wrong and they removed it. Now in Kerala, what has happened? According to state law, you can appoint the vice chancellor, but the search committee has to be set up. Fine, Kerala set up search committee. And what Kerala did, they recommended only one name. According to Kerala law, it is correct that if you give one name, it is fine. But according to Central UGC Act, at least 2 to 3 names must be given. And as only one name is given, it is considered to be violating the UGC Act. So now, according to state government, if you give one, it's fine. But according to central government, you have to give 2 to 3. Now, whenever there is conflict between state government and central government, it is always central law which is going to be valued. So, Supreme Court said that appointing the vice chancellor is not correct. Under Article 254, it says that if provisions of the state law are contradictory to the provisions of the union law, then the state law will become void. Void means it will not be accepted. So what has happened? They have removed the vice chancellor. Now this is used by governor and he is telling that all others are appointed the same way. So I will remove everyone. So everyone is trying to support it. It has become political issue. But I just want you to know about Article 254, right? Can you write polity? Polity. Below that you write whenever an issue is in concurrent list, an issue is in concurrent list, then both state government, both state government and central government can make laws. But whenever whenever there is conflict between state law and central law, then only central law will be upheld and state law will become void, and state law will become void under Article 254. I guess that is enough, don't worry. Because this is what we were trying to tell. India is getting ready for G20 presidency, right? We are trying to bring all the nations together on certain issues, and India also met Xi Jinping on the sidelines, and we are trying to communicate with China. Last time when we met, we did not talk with Chinese properly because of the Galvan Valley crisis. But now we are trying to talk with China for a simple reason that when we are the host, we need to call all the countries to come. And China should not protest that I won't come. So, India should talk to China and resolve the problems, is what this article is trying to tell. Other two articles are not so important. You can leave them. Yeah. So yes, quest for transparency in FTA negotiations. See yes, what is FTA? Free trade agreement. Now, what is free trade agreement, guys? Normally, two countries can come together and say that on some set of goods, for example, like 100 products with Japan. Like 100 products from India to Japan, 50 products from Japan to India will be having less taxes or zero taxes. That is called as free trade agreement. And whenever the countries talk about free trade agreement, every country will talk what will be beneficial to them. Now, what is happening in India? We are going for free trade agreements with several countries. We are going with European Union, we are going with Canada, we are going with UK, we are going with Israel, everything. But the article is trying to say that if you take UK, and if there is any such agreement, UK will ask the people what is the agreement all about, whether we will be benefited or not, what is the concerns, right? Everything they put, and people can suggest. After going through the suggestion, they will tell what they will be doing and why they will not be doing. So it will happen in a transparent manner. But in India, most of the things happen in closed doors, and they will not inform the public until and unless the negotiations are going on. And this is being criticized in the article. But let me tell you guys what happens. Now, let us say India is having an agreement with Japan. And in that, we are going to tell Japan, see, Japan, I will allow your products to come to India. But in return, you should give this much investment in my country. This must go for, like, what we call Atmanirbhar Bharat. So we may give some conditions with Japan. We may have different conditions with Taiwan. We may have different conditions with Nepal. Now, what happens? India, when it tries to give the information completely to the public and say that, like, okay, with China, with Japan, we are thinking that if they invest in our country, we are going to allow their products. Then China will come tomorrow and tell, I'm willing to invest in your country, give me some benefits like Japan. Or Nepal will tell, I am your neighbor, give me benefits like Japan. So, what will happen if we give one concession to one and if we don't give it to others, it will become a problem. So, what we do is final outcome we tell to people. Throughout the process, if we keep on telling, then what is going to happen? The world will understand, okay, to deal with India, I need to behave like this. India initially told I will not accept for this product, but Japan has offered this, so India has accepted. So I should also do the same. Now, when you look at UK and all, their friends and enemies are clear. But for India and all, we will be good to different countries differently. Based on what we like and what we get, we are ready to compromise. Because India's relation with Japan is different from India's relation with Australia. So if I give all the information to the people, then it is going to trouble me. So it's not important for me to give all the information, guys. The article is wrong. Expecting is not wrong, but comparing with that country is not correct. India's G20 presidency will be inclusive, action oriented, Modi. Yes, G20 is very, very important, as I told you. And I also told you that India is going to be the president from December 1st. So this is very, very important. We will be reading all these over a period of time because, like, let India take up all these are discussions and it was important. India deploys new docks, upgrades speedboats for Pangong So patrol. Because this is very, very important for us. What is the meaning? There is a lake called as Pangong So Lake, which is present on the eastern side of, like, uh, Ladakh with China. Fine, guys. One third of the river or lake is in India, and two-third is in China. China says entire lake belongs to them, whereas India says no, one third is mine. Now, recently, China has brought some boats, speed boats and all to this particular region. Now, India has also brought speed boats to this region, and India is also trying to ensure that, India can fight with China in the region effectively. Nothing much, guys. Can you make a small note? Pangong So. Pangong So. Pangong. So this can be in international relations or internal security. Anything is fine. Pangong So hyphen. Pangong So Lake. Pangong So Lake is saltwater lake present in eastern Ladakh. Full stop. India claims that India claims that one third of it belongs to India, whereas China says entire lake belongs to them. Full stop. Recently, China bought speedboats to this region, and now India has also brought boats to fight against China. So, because India is talking in Russia with respect to Afghanistan, you're planning to discuss how to ensure that in Afghanistan there is a democratic government. But, in this, mainly Afghanistan itself will not be there. So, if Taliban is not included, it's of no use. Just some talks is going on. That's it. Congress announces Makan is all politics. Jaraiwala withdraws nomination. Supreme Court allows pension. UGC asks universities. Celebrating Kolkata's veteran artists. All this is politics, guys. Poland says missile that hit it was Ukrainian straight. See, guys, what has happened? One missile from Ukraine has actually attacked Poland. Poland is part of NATO. Many people felt that it was done by Russia, and this is going to ensure that Third World War may start because Russia has attacked Poland and NATO countries will come together and attack Russia. But now it has been known that it is not done by Russians but done by Ukrainian people so that they want to make it Third World War and put the blame on Russia. But fortunately, the other countries are not willing to wage war, so they are telling no, it's not done by Russia but it is done by Ukraine. This is interesting, guys. Lula offers to host 2025 UN climate talks in Brazil's Amazon forest. You see, he's trying to say that we will have climate talks in Brazil. That's good, right? UK and India to launch a young professional exchange in 2023. Let them launch this. We can read all those things at that time. Yeah. Hold urgent meeting. They're asking to have a meeting. That is not important. See, guys, economy, I'm telling you, is not so good. So we need to find alternative source and read them. Yeah. So guys, these are some of the issues that were important. Thank you, guys. Those who want to take up, test series, you can contact us. There are people who are asking us for the test series. You can contact to this number, right? Modern history test is there. You can write and check. Fine. Thank you, guys.